Morning, students. This is day 2 in the continuation of the Economics chapter 2. Name of the chapter is People as a Resource. In our previous class, we started the chapter and on that day we covered few topics like what is the meaning of people as a resource, how we are using the human beings as a resource to satisfy our need. Then we also covered in that class about the meaning of human capital. What is human capital, students? Yes, the stock of knowledge, skill and talent present in the human beings are known as human capital. Then we also covered about human capital formation. How one can make the development, one can make increase in the human capital. So students, on that day, the process with the help of education and health, one can increase and generate and develop the human capital in himself, right? So what is human capital formation? It is a process of increasing the knowledge, talent and skill with the help of which things? With the help of education and health. And human capital formation is a result of over a period of time, right? On that day, at last, we also covered about the case study of Sakal and Vilas. On that day we came to know that these were the two friends. One managed to go to school, completed his higher secondary from the school. His father took the loan from the bank and allowed him to do the computer course. After completing the computer course, he managed to get a job in private sector, and later on he developed a very good software, and based upon that he was appreciated and his boss promoted him. On the other side, Vilas was of 11 years old and his family condition was not good. His father died. His mother used to sell the fish in the market. She was hardly managing to earn 150 rupees in a day. So, looking at this size of the family income, she was not able to give the healthy environment to her family. So due to that, Vilas became the victim of the arthritis, and somehow he was not able to go to school, and later on he joined his mother to, what did he do? He joined his mother and also started selling the fishes in the market and able to earn very less, right? So in the continuation of all those topics, today we are going to cover few more topics like analysis of the case study Sakal versus Vilas. Today we will be doing the analysis of the case study. Then second, I will tell you about the interesting fact about Japan in this context only. Then there is also another topic which we will be covering today is the meaning of economic activity, right? And what are the types of economic activities? In the types of economic activities, we will cover market activities. There are two types of economic activities, market activities and non-market activities, right? So these four topics today we will be covering. Let us come to our first topic, analysis of case study Sakal versus Vilas, right students? So as an analysis of the case study, we came to know regarding Sakal. What we came to know about him? Sakal invested his initial years of life with the education, and over a period of time with the help of investment in the life, he was able to get the return for the future. He started contributing in the economic growth. And he also managed to improve his standard of living. His standard of living increased. On the contrary, what we came to know about Vilas from the case study, Vilas did not invested, rather he was not able to invest in initial years of his life, right? Accordingly, he was not able to get good return because he did not invest in his initial years of life. Accordingly, his income was very, very less as compared to his friend, right? Students, here we can discuss one example. It just came in my mind. On one side, suppose doctor is here, on the other side a rickshaw wala is here. Or we can take the example of a clerk as well, right? A doctor is earning rupees 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees even just for doing one operation, right? Whereas on the other hand, a rickshaw wala, he pulls the rickshaw for the entire day and he earns only rupees 500 to 600 in a month. And if we are taking the example of a clerk, then clerk works for the whole month and manages to earn only 15,000 rupees monthly, right? So here we can make the clear comparison. A doctor is doing one operation and earning rupees 50,000 to 1 lakh. That means, where is the difference between the two? What is making the difference between the earnings of the two categories? Yes, that is only the education. A doctor initially invested his life with the education, whereas a rickshawala and clerk done their in the initial years of life. Clerk, according to his educational background, now he is earning, but a doctor, according to his educational background, he is earning. So I hope this example is clear to you, right? So it is only the education which makes the difference between the earnings of the different type of people falling in the different categories. Let us come to our second topic, interesting fact about Japan. So students, here very interesting thing to listen about that is Japan is not having any natural resource, whereas India is the hub of natural resources. But if we talk about developing countries and developed countries, so where the Japan comes, in the category of developing country or in the category of developed countries? Yes, in the category of developed countries. But the two things are very much contrary to each other, not matching with each other. If the Japan is not having the natural resources, then what thing making Japan to come in this category? That is only investment in the human beings. Due to investment in the human beings. Whereas India, most of his India is spending most of its earning on making the infrastructure, whereas in case of Japan is investing rather than in infrastructure but in the human beings, because these are the human beings who, after developing with the help of education, can transform the resources, whatever the present resources the Japan is having, in a efficient and in a economic manner, right? So here also the case of Japan is also telling us how important is the investment in the human beings for a particular country. So students, let us come to our third topic. Our next topic is economic activity. What is the meaning of economic activity, students? The economic means something which is paid in nature, right? All those activities which are being performed in the particular country to produce goods and services, all those activities which are producing some goods and services in the economy is known as economic activity, right? So there are n number of economic activities. The activities related to the agricultural sector, the activities related to the manufacturing sector, and the activities related to the tertiary sector. Students, regarding all these three sectors, we have also studied in class 8. What is agricultural sector? See, economic activities are n number of in the economy. So in order to understand them in a better way, we divided the economic activities, we categorized the economic activities based upon their nature into three categories: agriculture sector, manufacturing sector, and tertiary sector. In agricultural sector, the other name of agricultural sector is primary sector. As the name itself indicating, the activities which are related to the extraction of the natural resources comes under the agriculture sector. For example, fishing, poultry, animal husbandry, fishing, farming, even mining also comes under the agricultural sector activities. Then second comes about the manufacturing activities. Other name of manufacturing sector is known as the industrial sector. Now what is the meaning of manufacturing sector? The sector, all those activities which are using the primary sector goods as a input to process output with the help of machines. Right? So what type of activities, what type of economic activities comes under the manufacturing sector? The manufacturing sector, the activities which converts the natural products or raw material into the finished products, such type of activities comes under the manufacturing sector, and most of the such type of process most of the time is done with the help of machines, and then the output comes, right? The third one type of economic activity comes under the tertiary sector, the particular sector which itself never produces anything. Never produces any physical thing which can be touched, which can be seen. But the particular sector consists of that type of services which help out in agricultural sector, which help out in manufacturing sector. For example, banking, for example, communication, for example, transport. So all these services comes under which sector? Tertiary sector, and that is why the another name of tertiary sector is service sector, right? So I hope the meaning of economic activity and the type of economic activity, meaning of economic activity and the categorization of economic activity into three sectors are clear to you. So let us move towards our last topic of the day, is the type of economic activity. So students, the economic activities are further categorized into two types: non-market activities and the market activities. First of all, we will study about the market activities, all those activities which in return demand for remuneration. Now remuneration can be in terms of wages, in terms of salary, in terms of rent, etc. Right? For example, suppose a nurse is working in a hospital, so in return for providing her services to the patients, she want the salary, right? Suppose a laborer is working in your home, so in return whatever the services he is providing to you, in return he want the daily wages. Suppose a rickshaw wala is pulling a rickshaw for you, in return he wants something in order to perform the activities or perform the services for you. So all those activities which in turn demand for the remuneration is known as market activities, right? Suppose right now I am teaching to you, in return I want the salary for giving my services to you, right? So I am also involved in which type of activity? Market activities. On the other hand, non-market activities are those activities which purpose is not to earn profit at all, right? Suppose in the same case, suppose a nurse is working in the hospital, so in return she will demand for the salary. But the same nurse, if she is serving for her mother at her home, then the type of activity in which she is involved is called as non-market activity. So the same nurse, if she is giving her services to serve her mother at her home, then she will never demand for any type of remuneration, and in this way her services will be counted as a non-market activities. The purpose of such type of activity is not to earn profit, and in national income also such type of activities we never count. We never add in the national income, whereas such type of activities are added in the national income, and it's the purpose of such type of activities to earn profits, and these activities in turn demand for the remuneration. I hope the topic is clear to you. That's all about today's topic. We will continue in our next class. Till then, take care. Bye.